Brick boys, we the coolest of the city. I be riding around town, chasing guap, that's my MO. Shut shit down, knock 'em down like a Kimbo. Blowing loud up in my phone whip, stunting with my phone. Chicken jumping too fly, soaring in my Ralph Lauren fit.
Straight from the go-go, that mumbo sauce and hobo. The phone posse's right to the Nationals logo. PG, DMV, I weighed in at 9 pounds. Belly of the beast, bitch. You can check the sonogram. Rest in peace, tease, but my city is the loudest. You see more ass than Amber Rose stylist. Flow so dope, uncut Jerry Springer. About to fuck the whole world like MIA's finger.
Are you ready for this?
Okay, now, much respect, much respect. All right, so this is going to be one of those radio lives. All right. I have something that I want to speak about that is so important, right? So, you know, a saying that is developed into the Black community nowadays, right? And there's a saying that has developed into the Black community. Nancy, thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, beloved. There is a saying that has developed into the Black community, and that saying is, F them kids. That's right. F them kids. We have come up with a wild saying. And you know something? I realize it started off as a joke. We just ha-ha and kikiing about it. But one day, we really lost everything that you see in this picture. I don't come from the day of F them kids. I come from the day of protect them kids. That's why I have memories like this. That's me in the red hat held by my oldest sister. That's my big sister holding me. She's about 7 years. All right, so now that we're done with the family time, let's go ahead and get to what we're really here to talk about. Much respect to the family. I appreciate everybody for coming into the building. Much respect. You already know what it is, family. I would cam up and V you back, but you know what time it is. All right, now. So there's some things I want to pull up. You know, me as a parent, let me say this. This live is actually, let's say for myself, if there's anything in this live that you happen to resonate with, or if it resonates with you, then, you know, God willing. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead. I want to bow. Let's go ahead and get that going. Fair use banners. This is not going to be a very long live. I did drop the link just in case. You never know who comes into the building. I got a feeling that I just might be zoned out because this is just one of those where I'm really going to go in on myself because this is about me as a father. All right. So let's go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and flip this. Yeah, because we ain't going to have no mistakes on that bad boy. We ain't having no mistakes. Zero. All right. Let me do a test of that. Bam. Yeah, that's right. Just in case. Just in case. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull up this video, okay? Now we're just going to go through a series of some videos, okay? Now, you know what? I want to start it off. I want to start this off nice and smooth. I want to give families some respect and some support. All right. So this is a nice little video that was done, right? It's a nice little video that was done by fam. All right. But the thing is, I'm not going to actually show the video due to the fact that it will attract the whole kids protection thing, you know, on YouTube. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to stop running my monkey ass mouth. All right. And we're going to go ahead and get to this. All right. So let me go ahead and do this. Bow. I'm just going to pull me back up. Now let's just listen. Okay.
One of the biggest complaints of children from single parent homes is hearing negative comments about their other parent and feeling guilty to love that other parent outwardly. Often these children are living through some level of trauma, as separation can be the reason some children do not interact with extended family or other siblings. Therefore, to have to listen to someone speak negatively about their other parent, this leads to children growing up lacking basic respect skills and feeling uncomfortable expressing their own feelings in their own relationships, repeating the cycle. Despite why you and your ex are not together, no one deserves to be made to feel guilty for loving their other parent just to prove their love, especially children. So never speak negatively about your child's other parent where they can be. Always do what's best for your children, because raising healthy, balanced children is our goal. This PSA has been brought to you by Maharisha Books, because representation matters.
Wow. Much respect to the family on that. Absolutely beautiful. Now, that's just how we're going to start this, kick it off, because I'm a firm believer in that as well. You know, I speak about that a lot. I be real easy, like anybody who knows me. I don't even call her my baby mama. She's called the mother of my child. And we did not work. Anytime I speak about Danny, you will only hear me speak good things, because I know my daughter loves her mother. And you know something I am thankful for? She does speak highly of me as her father, because she knows that her daughter, our daughter, loves her dad. Our relationship has nothing to do with how she views us, you see? So that's just a nice little piece I like to kick off with. Now I want to kind of transition into an aspect in which, and if it's anything I might have missed, type it in the chat, let me know. I will address it. Now I want to move on to something that I actually had to learn myself. You know, it's a reason why even on these panels and stuff, if anybody goes back to what Smitty used to sound like, I was very boisterous, like real extra, like my mic was on what they call God mic, I guess, although I don't like to associate myself with God in any form. I'm just a creation, but that's just me. Just humbleness. I used to like yell a lot, and I cussed a lot. And you know what I realized? I'm a whole father. My child is here a lot of times. And so what I had to realize is that I had to go ahead and mold and shift myself so that I can be the best example possible. Now, these videos that I'm about to pull up they're interchangeable as far as it's either whether you're screaming around your children, which is very unhealthy. We should really watch, because I'm an extremely huge advocate for spiritual invite, right? We can say, well, the kids can't hear me, but the spirits can. And those spirits are now dwelling under the same roof as you and those children. Because the words that you say invoke them. It's a real thing. You can invoke spirits, people. Not in the way movies make it out to be. It's real subtle. You don't even realize it's happening. You don't even realize that they're just right there over your shoulder whispering, saying, yeah, call them more names, scream more. You don't even realize the whispers. It's right there over your shoulder. It's right there. You just can't see it. It's a very, very grotesque, dark entity. It's just lingering over you like a rain cloud when you wanted to have a picnic. Oh, I'm sorry, cookout. Because we don't pick a nigga, right? All right, now. So let's go ahead and let's get to this video. But I just want to make sure I get full context of where my headspace is when I think about these things. And it's disturbing. It's alarming. It's very alarming. Why? Because I had to check myself. Okay. So let's go ahead. And start off with this. So every video that I pull up, I don't want us to look at it as yelling at your kids unless, maybe you're somebody that actually does that. Then yes, this is directly for you. But what it is that I want to hone in on for myself and whoever can benefit from this is one thing. Whether you're yelling at them or around them, you cussing people out in front of them or around them, these are the possible psychological effects that can take place over time. None of these things happen overnight. It's a slow cooked process. But the thing about it is, it turns out to be the worst gumbo jambalaya you've ever had to stir a wooden spoon in. See, that's when we go from I'm making soup to boil, trouble and toil. Okay? That's when we go to the green smoke popping up out of the pot. And then black smoke, and then things just kind to erupt. And now you see a blinking eye in this concoction that you have constructed. Let's listen. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 12:07 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's rock out.
Do you want to stop yelling at your child? It's possible. It may seem...
Okay, do you want to stop yelling around your child? It's possible. Let's keep it there, not at them, around them. That's the focus here today, people.
Like you couldn't possibly do it. Maybe you've been yelling for a long time. Maybe you were yelled at growing up. Maybe you come from a long line of yellers, but I've seen hundreds of parents do it. It's completely possible. It's like playing the piano. You start with a simple tune today, and in a year, you actually can play a sonata. So here's how you do it. You start by making a commitment to your family that you're not going to yell anymore. And your children are the only ones who really know if you're yelling at them. So
now let me say this. This is very, very important for context. I want you to look at who's speaking. Bam. All right. We have a white woman. It's not a problem. But you know what I found to be an issue? I had such a hard time looking up where one of our own is speaking about this. And you want to know why I believe it's so tough? Because I believe that most of us, like myself even, we grew up in families, not my direct household. My mother and father are very laid back, chill and quiet. That's why me and my siblings are the way we are for the most part. I'm only boisterous here online the way I am. And I'll get fiery because that's what you have to present at times to make sure people just don't mess with me. That's just a defense mechanism that we all exude to a certain degree, and we won't play these games. All of us exude a certain amount of you niggas ain't gonna play with me, right? But outside of that, I had such a difficult time finding Black families to talk about not yelling around the kids. And I wonder if that's because a lot of us do come from that. Like, think about how our cookouts are. Man, we be all, see, that's why, even down to like panels, why it took me so long to even get used to like not cutting people off? Because I just come from that environment. I come from the environment of we all talking over each other, but everybody is still being heard. I know that's so weird, right? It's so weird. Nah, it's real. Like, we all talking at the same time, but everybody, like, ain't nobody getting mad talking about some shut up, let me finish. We just talking. So my point in saying that is me knowing from days of watching uncles and cousins and me myself as I got older, sitting at the spades table at the cookout, sitting at the dominoes table, right? Yo, we're very boisterous. I come from a family that, my grandma, a lot of them, it was just get your ass out of here before I beat your butt. There wasn't a lot of sit down and talks. So I do recognize how possibly we could have our thought process distorted when it comes to how we conduct ourselves around children. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the video. With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's just listen because I want to learn. I want to be the best father I can be, especially as my daughter goes into these college years coming up soon. Let's rock out.
they're the ones you make the commitment to. You take a vow of celibacy and you create a star chart for yourself. And if you need to get a star, to have enough opportunities to get a star, separate into morning and afternoon. And then at least maybe you'll find one morning that week where you don't yell and you look at it and you say, okay, well, I had one morning I didn't yell.
Okay, so she's being super white about it, and that's okay. You know how they talk. But no, what I do get is what she's saying is we have to start with it. It's just like working out. You don't just go from you haven't worked out in years and now you're like, yeah, I'm just going to hit the gym every morning. No, let's just start with maybe when you get out of bed, you just do stretches. Start with for the next week, make sure every morning you get up, you stretch. It's extremely important. Stretch your muscles, stretch your tendons, stretch everything, stretch your mind, stretch your nerves, stretch it all, right? Extend yourself into the universe and into the atmosphere as you begin your day. This is something that will help you more than likely go into the day productive. It's a reason why I'm so thrilled that I really picked up and got back into my prayers. Y'all don't know what that does for me entering my day when I go ahead and offer like 5 a.m. before that sunrise, right? It does something for my spirit. It helps me. It calms this beast. It calms the beast within me because us as men, we all have it. It's just not all men are capable of controlling the beast within them. So you having that monster inside of you, that is not something you should feel bad about and or guilty about. It is natural. It is organic. That's when you control the beast. Let's rock out.
And the next week, maybe it's 2 mornings. And over time, you'll be able to notice as you're.
You see that right there? That's what I'm talking about. It's all about health. Absolutely. Absolutely, family.
Yelling at your kids, and you'll be able to stop yourself right in mid-sentence. It's really hard. Stop, drop, whatever you're worried about at that moment. It's not an emergency. It may feel.
That's right. The fact is this. You want to know, and I'm going to repeat this again. You will always know that I keep saying it the same way. Do you know how I maintain my peace? I recognize that my father told me one day, my dad, he said, when you step out into the world, never try to carpet it. Just simply wear shoes. What does that mean? Is it pseudo? No, it's not. It's simple. When you step out the door, you need to know you need to dress for the weather. Don't expect the weather to accommodate you. The fact is, people are going to say things. People might even try to get up under your skin, right? Much respect to you. People going to try to do a lot of things to get you to get up out of yourself, right? But honestly, I really be wanting us to recognize something. Yo, one day I had to realize my daughter started to hide herself, not hide herself, but like she'll barricade herself in a room and start drawing, and she'll put on headphones. And I remember one day I was calling her. I was just, I was calling her by her name. And I got upset. And I was like, you didn't hear me? Right. So I'm at the bottom of the steps. She's looking down from the top railing of the steps. And she's like, I had my headphones on, Dad. And I'm like, I've been calling you. What? So you ignoring me? And she's like, no. And you know what my daughter, 15 years old at the time, she's 16 going on 17, about a year ago. You know what she said? She said, I had to put on my headphones, Dad, because I don't like it when you yell when you call me. She said she recognizes that I'm just calling her, but she said, it's just the way you sound. And my daughter's so articulate. She said, Dad, it's abrasive. Man, that stopped me in my tracks. I done forgot what I even called her for. It stopped me in my tracks hearing my daughter articulate that to me in such an eloquent and such a very loving but concerned fashion. Dad, your voice loud around here is disturbing. So what she does is she goes in her room upstairs, she closed the door and she puts on her big headphones. And she likes to play stuff like anime music. And, she's one of those kids, she'll play like Asian elevator music and just draw. I love my baby. Oh, man, I love my baby. Beautiful combination of me and her mother, which I respect much, much so. Now let's go ahead and we're going to finish off this 1 minute 57. Not because I have more. Like, we're really going to dive into the effects of when we speak and act a certain way around children. Y'all want to say F the kids? I want to say I love them. Let's go.
Feel like it, but it's not an emergency. Just drop it. Take a deep breath. The minute you bring some consciousness to it, you're not in the grip of your rage anymore. And you actually have a choice about what to do. And you can turn away and simply calm yourself down. It's great anger management example for your children. You're modeling for them about
Goodness gracious, modeling, being an example. You know, one thing that my daughter definitely has gotten a nice dose of with her father, being out in public. Well, you know, I don't go through a lot of stuff because I'm generally greeted and welcomed very much so with open arms and love in my community. I'm somebody who I have a very wonderful reputation where I come from, although, you know, in my street days I had issues, but nah, man, not let me shoot the last almost 15, 20 years now, man, my life has been different. And my daughter has been able to experience me actually go through a moment, like I'm talking about like in the store, you know, like that, like rude cashier or something. And she saw how her father was just like, it's all right. She saw how I navigated through that. She saw how I pivoted. She saw how I even just walked away. And then we got right back in the car, started the car. All right, Mama, you see that right there? Mm-hmm. Now, when in life, you're going to have moments like that. Now, always remember. And then we just have a little lesson behind it. I talked to her. And man, it's so fascinating, man. It's such a beautiful thing when like my daughter winds up calling me from her mom's house or something, right? And she'll tell me about her day. And she's like, Dad, you remember when we was in the store? And I'm like, yeah. What about it? She's like, well, I was at school today and the teacher was talking to this one kid and she would tell me how much that reminds her of the example. And she said, Dad, the teacher was totally wrong. The teacher got all mad and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's a whole teenager. Like my daughter, like, yo, she's one of them. She's one of those, like talking to her at 16, you don't really know the difference besides looking at her. Like if you were blindfolded, you would think you're talking to another adult around your age. It's trippy. It's trippy how so advanced and her articulation and outlook on life is. Her vernacular is out of this world. What we got right here? Mm-hmm. I saved my yelling for when my kid's about to go. Hey, no, I'm sorry. You know you got to get this one for that one, Shaw. Oh,
God have mercy upon us.
oh man. So what we got right here? I used to date a guy that didn't want his woman to model his mother because she used to yell at, whoa. Yeah, we're gonna pin that just for right now. I used to date a guy that didn't want his woman to model his mother. Yo, do you not know how vicious that is? Most of us as men, that's the main thing that we look for is qualities of our mother. But this guy did not want his woman to model his mother because she used to yell at him consistently. Bad relationship there. Jeez Louise. Let's listen to the rest of this video so we can move on to the next clip. That right there is absolute gems dropped.
how a mature person deals with anger. Everyone gets angry. How do you deal with it? And you'll know
that key word is how a mature person deals with anger. Key word is maturity as adults and as parents.
Notice over time that you're able to stop yourself sooner and sooner, even before you start yelling. And you'll look back in a few months and you'll realize, wow, it's been weeks and then eventually months.
And then it just turns into a lifestyle. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to move on to the next video. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about this one. We are going to talk about it because it's important. How do you conduct yourself around your kids? Okay. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get to the next video. These are all short videos. They're all maybe a minute, 2 minutes. I think the longest video I have is like 4 minutes, right? So they're all just kind of short, clippies, right? I don't know where I got clippy. I don't know where I got clippy from. See, we making up words today. Hello, Ebonics. All right, y'all. So the time right now is 12:21 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for watching. What we're going to do is we are going to take a quick commercial break. All right. And let me see right here. What do we got? Yes, sir. This commercial break right here is brought to you by The Kingdom Respect.
These messages will be right back.
I gotta keep it going. 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 I don't half step cause I know the full truth. The devil cooking, he don't know that I could cook too. When life give me pressure, I still show the good fruit. I treat it like my last rep and I just push through. I don't believe in failure cause I can't afford it. And if it ain't meant for me, then I ain't about to force it. I think about the victory and trigger my endorphins. The mission too important, ain't no way I could abort it. So I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
Parents often raise their voices at their kids when the situation gets a bit frustrating, but could it be detrimental?
To yell or not to yell? That is the question many parents ponder. Raising children is an art that's hard to master, with experts suggesting radically different approaches that seemingly change every day. But can yelling at your kids actually harm them? Some research has been emerging that says raising your voice at your children may be as dangerous.
Now, remember, the key word is not at them, around them as well. No, let's not focus on at them. Yelling around them is just as detrimental. You don't have to be talking to them for them to see what it is that you can potentially do to them if you direct it to them. So they're seeing what you are capable of doing. And children are very, very good at retaining information. Not to mention they're very, very good at repeating the same cycle because they are sponges. Did you know that? Did you know that children are walking around sponges? Right? Let's go.
Physical abuse. How bad can this age-old parenting tool really be? And where do we draw the line?
Parenting experts Dr. Deborah Gilbo and Amy McCready join us now. And I want to thank you both for being here because you have slightly different.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is for educational as well as entertainment purposes. This is for the benefit of me as a father because I want to be the best dad that I can possibly be. I want to learn how to hone in and control my energy and chakra. I want to learn how to go ahead and be the best example for my one child that I possibly can be. If there's nothing I ever do in this life, if I never become famous, if I never become anything of extraordinary to the world, I can at least leave this planet and know that there is somebody who would say that was my dad and I loved him and he was a great man.
Different perspectives on this. And Amy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I was going to get an applause for that. Let me go ahead and extend that for myself as well as all the dads who actually have the headspace and the mentality that once you have them, your life is no longer yours. I got your comment in a second, fam. I got you. Let's get to the video real quick.
Amy, I want to start with you. Is it ever okay for a parent to yell at their kid?
Well, yelling should only be
Yell at and around.
used in situations of extreme danger when you really need to get their attention. Yelling should never be our go-to discipline strategy because
Yelling should never be our go-to strategy, period, especially around children and or yourself. A bunch of yelling raises cortisol. A bunch of yelling, it raises your blood pressure. It incites your LDL, right? Your bad cholesterol. It incites heart issues, especially if you're a smoker. See, that's another reason why I've had to learn to really control my energy. I don't want to bust my heart, screaming to the point where veins are popping out my forehead and neck and temples. All because somebody may have said something I don't like. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for your health. It's not worth it for your household. It's not worth it for the children. It's not worth it for those who live around you. It's not worth it for your neighbors. Because then you put yourself at an incapacitated state because you're not of any use to anybody, because now you're in a fit of rage. Somebody in a fit of rage is of no use. You're just a tool of destruction at that point. I think we need to take time and think about these things. Let's keep going.
it doesn't work to change behavior long term. Otherwise, parents wouldn't be yelling at their kids over and over for the same thing. But as it said in the piece, there's new research that shows that the effects of yelling can actually be as harmful as that of spanking. So you're
Wow. Hold up one second. I actually have to hear that little piece again because
Timepiece Frosty, that's why you only get one chance to cross me.
What did she say? What?
Spanking. So you're saying
Hold
if their child
on.
be as harmful as that of spanking.
So you're saying if their child is running out into traffic or trying to touch fire, yell in that situation. But aside from extreme situations like that, yelling is a no-go.
It is a no-go. You're right. When you need to get their attention, you yell and you yell loud. But what happens is that if we're yelling all the time, kids become parent deaf.
Wow. So to think, even if you're not directing the screaming to that child, just your voice being elevated so much, you know what happens when you really get to yelling at that child for something that really is serious? They're tone deaf to it. They're so used, that's your normal tone to them. So now the urgency, no, don't. They're so used to hearing you be, you this, you that, bop, 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 veins popping out the neck, screaming and everything in close quarters. Because the fact is, I don't know a house that any of us really have, even myself, that is big enough to where, like me, I'm in a 5.5 bedroom, 3-story home, 5.5 bedrooms, 3 stories. And I have 2.4 acres of land that surround my entire yard with woods in the back. I'm only saying that to say, remember what I told you that my daughter does. At one point, what she did, she would go and put her headphones on. So even me being in this basement down in the man cave, I would say, it didn't work. She still heard me. She didn't like it. She didn't like the way I would sometimes have to be boisterous, because now I even had to tell her, look, it's too many rooms in this daggone house, okay? There's too many little nooks and crannies and corners and spaces. Sometimes I have to elevate my voice, and she's like, Dad, no, you don't. I can hear you. Yeah, man, my child taught me that. She said, Dad, nah, you ain't got to yell. I can hear you. I can hear you all the way from downstairs, Dad. I got 3 levels in this home, 5.5 bedrooms. My daughter still can hear me all the way upstairs in her room. Okay. And I'm down here in the man cave. I'm on the bottom level. She's on the top floor. I want us to think about this. All right. Because the children matter. I had to redirect how I conduct myself around my child. It's the reason why I don't use profanity as much, yo. I don't be calling nobody no B. I don't be calling nobody no BAN. You don't hear me say, have y'all ever heard me say, like, well, I ain't gonna say I never said it, but like maybe in my earlier days, yeah, maybe. But like real talk though, you don't hear me say F you. like just directly, like F you. You don't hear me say that. I may be like, what the F you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I will cuss while talking, but it's a certain mode that I keep myself in. I don't play with that at all. And I had to learn that as a dad. I'm dad. I have to make sure I conduct myself a certain way. Let's rock out.
Meaning they tune us out. So when we need to get their attention, we kind of train them that they don't have to listen until we yell, because then they know we're really serious.
But that puts us in this spot.
And if you're always yelling, they don't know when it's really that it's like it's almost kind of like the cry wolf theory concept. It's kind of like cry wolf. It's like, you know, it's like now it's really a problem and no one's listening to you. Because that's how we, you know, we're used to it. Okay, yeah. There you go screaming again. There you go yelling again. And you know what they do? They start to just close the doors in their room and they just shake their head and roll their eyes because they're like, yeah, there he go. There he or she goes screaming again. And it has no effect. No effect. Just like how you can spank them to a certain point. But guess what? One day they're just going to look at you like, I fight your ass back. Keep putting your hands on me. Because it's a real thing. It's organic. It's nature. It's not about if you're mom or dad at that point. We better learn some shit today.
Of saying to parents, it's as dangerous to yell at kids as it is to hit kids. That tells me two things as a parent. That means if I yell, I've failed. It's like I'm beating my kids. And that's just not true. And it also sets me up as a parent to feel like, well, I'm super frustrated with this child and I already yelled at them. I might as well give them that spanking. And that's also not reasonable because we know that spanking is damaging pretty much every single time.
I just want to know, all right, we got a sister up on it, but I just really want us to pay attention to this. Why is it that when it comes to the proper ways of being, like, I'm not saying we don't have it. Matter of fact, watch this. Let's just do a challenge. The challenge is I'm going to look for it. And I want you all look for where us as blacks, I want you to find where we are talking about this as vigorous as the others are. Yo, I had such a hard time finding my own to speak about this in the manner in which that they're talking about it. It's unfortunate that I have to this is my only option. I don't have another option. Or do I? And I just don't know about it. Now watch this. If I don't know about it, why don't I? Why is it so hidden? Why is it not on the forefront? Why isn't that at the top of the algorithm list? Why are the others at the top of the algorithm list? So we can word it however we want. The fact is, I think we really need to think about some things. So what I want us to do is I want us to just take a moment and go back. Let's go back into ourselves. Because all of this is about growing. It's about nourishment of your spirit and your mind. Like, you don't realize the entities that are around you, but you must be focused. You must be focused and you must know exactly how to operate and navigate yourself through these things. Because the fact is that you're always going to have something in this world that's going to, I guess you can say, affect you in some way, right? Now, what does it say in the word? I believe, if anybody knows, I think it says it's not what enters the heart, but what proceedeth. Yeah. No, it's not what enters the mouth, but what proceeded from the heart. There we go. Not what enters the mouth. So boom. No, my Christian brothers and sisters, that does not mean swine is legal. It just means that it doesn't matter what happens to you in this life. It's about how you respond to what happens to you in this life. How do you respond to what happens to you in this life? Do you just flip out about every daggone little thing? And if so, maybe you need to check your spirit.
These messages will be right back.
person who lives on two levels at once. He's able to live on the level of being his ordinary ego, his everyday personality, and play his role in life and observe all the rules and so on that go with that. But if he's only on that level, if he's only playing that kind of thing, and thinks that's all there is, it becomes a drag. But he's just got to go on surviving. If, however, you see, you know that all the serious predicaments of life are a game, and I deliberately got involved in this thing, and that even if I got myself into an awful mess, and I got born with syphilis and the Great Siberian Itch and tuberculosis and in a Nazi concentration camp, nevertheless, this was a game which was a very far-out play. It was a kind of cosmic masochism. If you can carry on these two things at once, you get a very remarkable harmoniousness. Really.
Do you know why I play things like that? Do you know why I look up stuff like that? Y'all may think, oh, Spitty just trying to see more deep. Nah, man, I'm searching for myself. I'm truly searching for the highest realm that I can exist in inside of this physical vessel. I want to see if I can take my two-door Honda Accord and turn it into a nice Hummer, right? Or a tank. That's right. This right here is what we call restoration. This right here is what we call renovation. I do these things for a reason. It ain't got nothing to do with I think I'm this, I think I'm that. Nah. Be honest with you. If only you knew truly what I thought of myself, which will never be spoken about. Humbleness is key. I realize how insignificant I am when it comes to this whole entire everything. So I need you to think about something, right? When we think we're so big and this and that, planet Earth, when you zoom out right outside our solar system, planet Earth, right, is no larger than a grain of sand. And my black behind is rotating inside of a grain of sand, and I think I'm so high and mighty. Dead. It's a reason why humbleness is key. Humbleness brings about the confidence. Humbleness brings about quiet and silence. Humbleness allows you to examine yourself. Humbleness makes sure that you continuously check yourself. Humbleness brings about self-accountability. That humbleness is why I was able to listen to my daughter, and the last thing I thought to do was lash back at her as if she was talking to her father wrong, although everything she said was smack on point. And I had to just take that in. I had to eat that. My daughter made me a plate. Here, Dad, I made this for you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby. Okay, now, what's this? It's a truth sandwich. I'd rather you eat a truth sandwich before life gives you a knuckle sandwich. Let me see what the comments say right here. Okay, now. So, salute to the family. Recently, I had to apologize to my son for him hearing a private conversation I had where I, yeah. I tried to be an example, but he caught me. He caught you slipping, fam. Hey, look, it's happened to us all, and that's the thing. That's why I don't have like there's no judgment in this. Like I said, this is for me. But like once you are able to recognize, like let's like that last part, right? I tried to be an example, but he caught me slipping. God damn it, Jim. Now that right there is where accountability is held. That's where the accountability is held. And for that, yes, we are the lamps. right now. Let's get back to the video.
Yelling is dangerous every single time.
Yeah, and I think, don't you think it comes down to frequency and intensity? So every parent on the planet yells from time to time. But if you find that you're yelling every day, multiple times a week, and then those interactions are angry and intense, I think that's where we have to look at it and say, okay, is this having harmful effects on our kids?
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is. You're right. It's fact.
And is it really working to change the behavior?
But to say yelling is as bad as physical abuse, I want to talk about that a little bit, because to me, it seems like there's a difference. But if you're thinking that yelling at your kids when they were younger was the same as hitting them,
I know I didn't think that way at all. But to their point, then when I did break down a little bit and yell, I did feel bad about it. Like I could have handled that in a better way.
But that's a great opportunity, because we do mess up as parents. And so when we yell at our kids, then what happens? Well, two things. They learn. Sometimes people yell and you don't have to crumble, because if I never ever yell at my kid, then they get out in the world and a coach or a teacher or somebody else's parent or a boss yells at them.
You're missing the point. Yeah, you missing the point. You're missing the point, beloved. You all are on point, but you're missing that point. Yeah, let's talk about that one. 12:42 p.m. East Coast Standard Time is what time it is right now. And I thank you all for watching. Yeah, now let me go ahead and help you guys out. You know what I've learned? Watch this. I actually lost a limb. You know what affects me the most in my life? Words that were said to me psychologically. You know the old saying, what is that? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never help me. Bullshit. Bullshit. Wow. Nah, man. It's something about somebody can say something to you, and that has a very much so long-lasting effect. It takes a lot longer to heal from a psychological wound than it does a physical one. Words are extremely important. Words have set people free. Words have sent people to the gallows to be hung or dunked in rivers or castrated. Words can be very, very painful. Let's not act like that. Let's not fake no more, people. Let's be real with ourselves. Somebody can say something to you and that shit can crush your day. Let me tell y'all something, especially as a man. Let's just take it to a relationship status, right? You can be at work. Fellas, you know this. Ladies, you too, maybe. Right? But I like to speak to the men. And whatever resonates with you all, I appreciate it. You ever be at work and you know you and that one that you're dealing with, I don't know, might be a little rocky, whatever it is, or everything's going good. You ever be at work and you get that text while you at work and it's all kind of hearts and flowers and can't wait to see you? What do you not know what that just us looking at that does for us? Those words that we didn't even hear. All we did was read them, put us on top of the world. That same man can be at work and he can all of a sudden out of nowhere get a text and it says, I don't think this is going to work out. That nigga can't focus for the rest of the day. Everything shuts down. Can't concentrate now. You try and focus. You try and take an early break so you can go call her and y'all don't know what words can do. Ladies, you see, and that's why the power of the tongue is so mighty. Ladies, you can say one thing to that man and put him, through the sky and beyond. And you can say one thing that'll send that man to the depths of hell in his mind. So don't play with the word talk, because words are very serious. Let's keep going.
But yells at them, and this way they go, oh yeah, this happens. right? It's not necessarily me or, right, okay, maybe they'll apologize, maybe they won't, but they'll have the skills to handle it of getting yelled at. But also, I get to apologize to my kid when I handle something badly, whatever it is. If I told a story they didn't want me to tell in front of someone else and they were upset about that, or I yelled at them because I lost it a little bit, we get the practice and the modeling of the resilience of apologizing and reconciling. And how are my kids going to learn that if I don't allow myself to be human ever?
Yeah. And again, all parents are going to yell from time to time. And I love using that opportunity as a teaching moment for your kids when you do mess up. So I think the way we handle misbehavior, you know, as I said, week in and week out, that really teaches them how they're going to communicate and deal with difficult situations as they arise.
Absolutely. And I think overall, when it comes to kids, yelling is overutilized, but I don't know that a lot of parents will be able to give it up altogether. It's like, put the toy down.
Nah, yeah, that's dead. That's dead. Let's just be for real, people. All right. So there is a realistic side of this. You are going to have moments where you like,
because I hate you coward ass niggas. You a punk ass nigga.
now I wouldn't word it exactly as JP would, but there are moments where the kids just might be doing something and I might have to be like,
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
yes, that will happen. But the excessiveness of it. See, everything with men is about timing. Consistent, accurate timing. A man goes out to hunt. He wants to bring back the caribou, the moose, the venison, right? He wants to bring back that bear fur so we stay warm. You know what that man has to do? Perch in a tree and be patient. I want you to look at when we finally release that bow or when we finally pull the trigger. I want you to look at that as we are timing and marking and planning out strategically, methodically, when we will raise our voices. So when you let that arrow go, you go for that kill shot, it has to be timed. You don't for every single little rabbit and squirrel walking by, you just shooting all in the woods. You will never catch what it is that will be sustainable for the family when you return back to the village. They're expecting you to come back with something tied up with the legs strung up and everything. And they looking like, yeah, that's going to do us for about a good month. You can't be out here just bucking and shooting. You know, yelling at everything is like using a shotgun to hunt squirrels. You got buckshots and you're hunting squirrels. Why? Everything must be methodical. Everything must be strategic. You must be able to hone in and control your chakra. You must be able to know when to bring it down, tone it down, pump your damn brakes, for crying out loud.
The toy down, put the toy down, put the toy down. And you know, that third one, when you raise the voice, finally they put the toy down. But I think also what you yell is very important. So if you're yelling.
Right. Cool beans. I like that. So now we're at the end of that one. Now let's go ahead and get to this next little video I have. I told you I got a nice little couple of videos, right? So now we're going to go to, let's go to this one right here. All right. So this one right here, we're all on the same note. We're going to keep this bad boy rolling. Now, of course, because that's at the end of the segment, what I like to do is I like to always represent Black excellence. Okay. So we always say we don't show enough of those who are actually intelligent, of those of us. Well, I love science. I love space. And I love this guy for doing this right here. And this is brought to you by Black excellence. We do exist.
These messages will be right back.
Oh, so you're like a rapper or something?
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
I'm coming up smooth.
Oh, of course you are.
Well, if you're just gonna knock my hustle, you a hater of me, and my haters are my motivators.
I just think an actual college degree should be more important to you.
I mean, you don't know my life, though.
Okay, look, if you're so talented, how about this? Come up with a rap about the solar system, and I'll let you skip the test and just get 100. How about that? That's what I thought.
All right.
8 whole planets talking big glow, spanning million miles, now dimensions first of these. Look at Mercury. 1. It gets hot enough to melt the metal at just over 621 degrees from all the surface heat. 2. Next up, got the twin planet Venus, even hotter in the atmosphere, thick like Serena is. 3. We know us, liquid water pour up, Goldilocks zone, but the woman gotta slow up. 4. Mars got some polar ice caps, used to have some water on it, could have been some life there. I sent a few rovers over, got a little sight there. Left Matt Damon on it, homie, that's a nightmare. Take it to the gas giant, Jupiter the big one, 180 moons in the planetary system. Saturn got the rings and Uranus spinning sideways. Wrap it up with Neptune, Pluto hit the highway. Appreciate the 100, bro. 100, bro. 100.
Wait, so he just gets to leave?
Wait, I wasn't really being serious.
First question comes from someone that I know very well. Our director of communications at this show is Michelle Boxer. Very appropriately named, by the way. And Michelle has a certain group of words that are her favorites, the 4-letter kind. So she's very good at communicating in every way, but especially good in that area. Michelle, would you like to ask the doctor, Dr. G, what the deal is?
Well, anyone who knows me, especially Rachel, knows that I have a potty mouth. And around everybody, including my kids. I'm wondering, I curse a ton in front of my kids. How bad is it?
So before I give you any kind of idea about it, I'd like to ask the audience. What do you guys think? Bad, not so bad? Pretty split.
They gotta learn it somewhere.
And I'm gonna say, not so bad.
Not so bad.
They can use it well, they could use it.
Here's the thing. What we want is that our kids won't swear around people that will judge them. Right. That will think, oh, I don't know that kid, that's a bad kid. And when we hear a kid swear that we don't know, we tend to think that's a bad kid.
Right.
So swearing around kids, the lesson we have to teach them is when can you use those words? Because it can be a really cute story when they're little, but there are those middle years where you just think, oh, I don't want that kid around my kid.
Right, right, right.
So I don't want my kids to never swear. I want them to never swear.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
You know, we need to recognize, watch this. My parents didn't want me to smoke weed at all. I now grow the shit. Once upon a time, my parents didn't want me to smoke weed at all. So you know what? My parents never said to me, look, you know, you can smoke weed just in a house. Don't go around other people that might judge you for smoking weed. Nah, you know what my parents did? They said 0 tolerance. Don't do it at all. My parents upheld a certain standard. And that's the reason why I know when it comes to what their standards are, I don't mess with them about that because they gonna look at me and be like, son.
Timepiece Frosty, that's why you only get one chance to cross me.
Dead. I try to go up to my peoples and I try to get them to be like, hey, I'm talking about as a teenager, right? Not grown. You know, I should be allowed to do this sometimes because you do it sometimes. Have you all ever heard the old saying that goes, do as I say, not as I do? Now, I know that's very tough because I'm very much so a person of action. So that's another old school saying that's like, we got to recalibrate that one. We can't say actions speak louder than words, then turn around and say, do as I say, don't do as I do. But that is an old saying that for some reason it permeated with us very, very deeply. So when it comes to being loud and a lot of profanity around the children, I think we really need to recognize that a lot of times that could cause them to grow up and be very combative in everything themselves. We need to be careful of these things.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation.
Around a younger child or around an adult they don't know or at a job interview.
Right.
So That's the trick, is to swear around them when they're old enough to learn the lesson about using a library voice and words in library and a recess voice and words at recess.
I will say I can get with that aspect as far as time and place. Teach your children time and place. But as far as trying to get them to understand when they can do that and when they can't, you just got to just snip that in the bud. Negative 0 tolerance. And when you get old enough, I know what it is. Like me, like my people's never let me do that. Just one day, I just realized I was an adult. I might have been at a cookout. I might have been over at the house or something. I said, shit. And they didn't say anything to me. Now, let me have said that when I was 14. I'd have got all kind of backhands across my lips. I'd have got all kind of backhand pops. Are you serious? Nah, you don't talk like that because we ain't raised you that way. Now, you're an adult now, and we recognize that it might be certain things you've been through and a certain influences outside of the house that is beyond our control at this point, right? But growing up, you think I didn't hear this in the house?
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Same children.
And those were my aunts. Like, let's not play these games. We got one more video, people, and we're going to go ahead. Yeah, this is about perfect timing. Yes.
Do you want to stop yelling at your child?
Yeah, it's almost that time. I have to make sure I keep my spiritual equilibrium balanced and intact. So prayer is coming up. So we have this last video here. Let's go ahead and get to this one. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So yeah, my main thing that I'm doing this for is for myself as well. Primarily me. It's a lot I want to learn. I do come a very rough environment. I come from, a very loud environment. Not my household, like I said, but any and everything outside of that. Yeah, going to friends' houses, my cousins and them, all of that, you name it. Like it's pretty boisterous. Pretty boisterous. My parents were the quiet ones, and that's why I conduct myself the way I do. You see how the results can wound up happening. A lot of what you hear and see in me when I get fired up, that's that uptown. That's my mama's side right there. that's that, you know what I'm saying, uptown DC. When I be on my chill, cool, lay back, just smoking a J, that's my pops. That's my father in me you seeing and hearing. That intellectual side, that's my father, as well as my mother. That's the combination of the two. Because I was raised a certain way, I came up in a certain household. That's why I'm into the things I'm into. That's why I love nature and gardening. That's why I love plants. That's why I love animals and life, because my parents were into these things. I am a reflection of what they raised their son to be. It's just a fact. All right. Now, that doesn't always turn out to be the case, but we know it generally does. Now, with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get to the last video of the day. One second. There we go. 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 All right. So
imagine this.
I apologize. I didn't mean to pull that one. I was going through some stuff and I actually hit the wrong video. So let's go through this. This is the one I want to go through. So this is right here, the longest video. This one right here is 4 minutes. So we got roughly maybe about 10 minutes left before we go ahead and kick rocks. I appreciate everybody. Today is Saturday. So I will be going fishing and I will be enjoying a wonderful evening, sitting down, ordering a dinner with awesome company. So I'm looking forward to my day. Today's going to be a beautiful day, and I hope it's a beautiful day for you too. You should always smile. You should always enjoy your life. It's very important. Never let anything stop you from enjoying your life. I know I won't.
Is the long-lasting effects of yelling at your kids.
Understanding the impact on child development. Parenting is a challenging journey, and every parent may find themselves raising their voice at their children from time to time. While occasional frustration and raised voices are normal, frequent or intense yelling can have significant and long-lasting effects on children.
If somebody doesn't mind, can you please, anybody, I don't care who you are, if you're listening, whether from the IG, Rumble, and or YouTube side, somebody type the number 7 if you can hear this. Not 1. We don't do that. That's what everybody else does. Over here, we do 7s. All right. Somebody type in the number 7 if you can hear this video. I would appreciate it. I'll wait. Thank you, JPAC. Thank you, JPAC. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so y'all can't hear this. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. I just wanted to make sure you guys can hear what's being played, because I be at times I get off and I'm like, goodness gracious, I done had like a whole 45 minutes of just silence, and it doesn't make for good production. I want to give you guys the best service possible. Let's go.
In this video, we will explore the impact of yelling on child development and offer insights into alternative and positive parenting strategies. 1. Emotional impact. Yelling can lead to emotional distress in children, causing feelings of fear, anxiety, and sadness. Constant exposure to raised voices can create a hostile and tense environment, negatively affecting the child's emotional well-being. It can also diminish the child's self-esteem and create a sense of insecurity. 2. Behavioral changes. Children who experience frequent yelling may develop behavioral issues. They may become more aggressive, exhibit defiance, or withdraw from social interactions. Yelling can model inappropriate behavior, leading children to believe that it is an acceptable way to resolve conflicts. 3. Communication breakdown. Excessive yelling can hinder effective communication between parents and children. It may lead to children becoming hesitant to express their feelings or share their experiences due to fear of criticism or punishment. This communication breakdown can hinder the development of a strong parent-child bond. 4. Cognitive impact. Yelling can impair a child's cognitive development. Constant exposure to stress can hinder concentration, memory retention, and problem-solving skills. This can affect the child's academic performance and overall intellectual growth. 5. Impact on parent-child relationship. Yelling can strain the parent-child relationship, leading to emotional distance and strained attachments. A positive and nurturing parent-child bond is essential for healthy emotional development. Alternatives to yelling. 1. Practice patience. Take a deep breath and step away from the situation if you feel your emotions escalating. Allow yourself time to calm down before addressing the issue with your child. 2. Active listening. Encourage open communication with your child. Listen attentively to their feelings and perspectives without judgment. 3.
That's something I had to learn. I had to learn to not you know what, I'm the parent, I know more than you, I'm older. The fact is that even though I was once my child's age, I'm no longer her age, and I'm not going through what she's going through at this moment in this particular time and age. So I need to be considerate of that. This is all a part of growing and learning how to be the best parent possible. Why? Because there's no book on this. We all know that, right? There's no book on parenting, because each circumstance of parenting is going to vary, and it's going to be unique in its own circumstance with that child in particular. Even if you have multiple kids, you don't treat all your kids the exact same way. Some of your kids you got to be a little tougher on. Some of them you're like, nah, that one got it. That one you already there. And then some of them we got to rear a little bit more. I was that child. I was the black sheep. Out of my siblings, I was the one that had to be reared a little bit more. But guess what, though? My parents never showed any difference in the love. for any of us. Although I found it to be weird when my dad would say stuff like, Smitty, Shelly, huh? Yeah, Dad. Me and my baby sister in the room now. Your brother and sister ain't here. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and do something. Smitty, go on upstairs and climb up through the attic. I'm gonna need you to fix this patch in the roof. What? Dad, I'm 12. Look, do what I say. Shelly, bring me some iced tea. So that's all she got to do? Don't argue with me, okay? Don't argue with me. See, that's what I came up around. I came up around just do as I say. But I do recognize that, yeah, I mean, the task that I had as the older brother or as one of, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother and stuff, like, yo, it was rough. It was rough. But I love it because I know what it made me. Like, I know who I am now because of that. You smell me now? Let's get back to it.
Set clear expectations. Establish clear boundaries and expectations for your child's behavior. Be consistent with consequences and positive reinforcement. 4. Teach problem-solving skills. Help your child develop problem-solving skills to handle challenging situations effectively. 5. Lead by example. Model positive behavior and coping mechanisms for your child. Show them how to manage emotions constructively. Yelling at children can have profound and lasting effects on their emotional, behavioral, and cognitive development. As parents, it is crucial to recognize the impact of our actions and adopt positive parenting strategies that foster a nurturing and supportive environment. By practicing patience, active listening, and positive discipline techniques, parents can build strong, healthy relationships.
Positive discipline techniques, not just to the child, around the child. Show discipline around that child. That's very important. Let's go.
Relationships with their children and support their overall development. Remember that effective communication and understanding are essential in guiding children through.
You know what's so fascinating about this picture right here? You know what's so fascinating to me about that? What's fascinating to me about that is this right here, right? Because it's crazy. Like me just being dad, me just, you know, just, I guess you can say just doing things that, you know, dads, I guess, do, you know what I'm saying, with their kids and things of that nature, right? So now I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, wow, this entire time, right? When me and her were doing this right here, I had no clue. I'm actually teaching her problem-solving skills. Ain't that something? This is years ago. You can tell by the hair. This is before my accident. Oh man.
I don't think that's necessarily going to work for me.
I'm trying to tell you, baby.
Can we just click this already and play Uno?
Oh. she was about to give up. Oh man, she was about to give up. It's all good. But no, it's funny, man. It's funny, but it's also enlightening how I didn't even realize that that's what was taking place the entire time. A lot of things that we do when we go out, and I like to always give her kind of puzzles. I like to give her things that she can think to do on her own. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. So, you know, when I'm actually looking at, you know, a picture such as this right here, yo, that hits home for me. Let's go ahead and get back to it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 1:09 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you all so much for watching. Let's get back to the video on how we can be better parents. It's not that you're a bad parent. It's not that you're committing acts of bad parenting. It's just we can only teach them what we know. I want to learn more. Hopefully you're here to learn something with me, and we can all be better parents so that our children are much better models and they are better examples of us than we have ever been, because we know that the key to being a parent is to make sure that that child grows up and be twice as what anything you ever could imagine to be. But we have to give them the comfortable space and the nurturing aspects of love and respect and acknowledgement to make sure that that child has the conducive environment to grow as such. Let's rock out.
Lead by example. Model positive behavior and coping mechanisms for your child. Show them how to manage emotions constructively. Yelling at children can have profound and lasting effects on their emotional, behavioral, and cognitive development. As parents, it is crucial to recognize the impact of our actions and adopt positive parenting strategies that foster a nurturing and supportive environment. By practicing patience, active listening, and positive discipline techniques, parents can build strong, healthy relationships with their children and support their overall development. Remember that effective communication and understanding are essential in guiding children through life's challenges and helping them grow into confident and emotionally resilient individuals.
And honestly, that's pretty much where I'm at. All right. It's just something I always want to make sure that we keep in mind. There's no such thing as perfect parenting, but there is such thing as perfecting the goals of wanting to be better. You can harness the perfection of continuously being a better you, a better parent, a better neighbor, a better friend, a better husband, a better dad, a better mother, a better wife, so on and so forth. Much respect to the family. I got a day to enjoy. I hope you do too.
I'ma get mine. Get yours, nigga, cause I'ma get mine. Today gon' be a good day. Jack gon' keep it playing from the Genesis. As I'm blowing dope, being broke, my only nemesis. Remember when it wasn't all good, I used to reminisce. Felt like I was going through hell with no deliverance. Niggas throwing salt in the game, condoning ignorance. But when it's really in you, not on you, we know the difference. Nigga ain't no willing and dealing, we really killing shit. My brother passed a shooter like Luka, he gave me 10 assists. Nigga, I was Dennis before you knew what a menace is. Now I just spread love to these bitches, ho, I'm a feminist. Way they running back to the dick, they think they Emmitt Smith. No real player gon' break it, that shit be imminent. Yeah. Nigga, we was trapping out the tenement. Niggas ain't hard, they just loud, them niggas impotent. Ain't in it for the glory, my life story is intricate. Don't crash out for the money and watch the niggas you get it with. I say it all, cause I'm past the point that I'ma play with y'all. And as the president, I'ma have to revoke your player call. Don't think the nigga ever was real, and he gon' stay a fraud. Don't think a nigga bluffing is not nothing to break them all. Saquon, ho, it's not nothing to shake them all. With no street clothes on my bed, ho, better take them all. Just get that cheese, breaking that bread, and I can stay involved. Wanna look sweet in my side seat, got to pay the cost.
Dope and cheese, I'm smoking G's. While I was scaling dope and weed, y'all been yelling broken knees. You gon' do it, baby, do it, gotta hold and squeeze. For real, it's cold out here, one of you hoes gon' freeze. Rob the reverend, call the blessing, hold your nose, don't sneeze. Poop, nigga. Oops, nigga. Pull up in that big shit like I'm too big for that coupe, nigga. Too legit to quit, no, I'm just too legit for you, nigga. Twin Towers feel the power when we speaking, nigga. Cope like I was in the Ghost with Tommy Egan, nigga. If your bitch looks suspicious, she probably creeping, nigga. If you heard this shit before, it's probably beating, nigga. Don't ask me about no money, I'ma tell you, let me hold something. 60K in debt, be walking around like I don't owe nothing. So-and-so got shot up, I just act like I don't know nothing. I call love, but we make a hit and miss a home run. Clean up in the kitchen, we can't have no dirty dishes, cause it's roaches outside and we cooking if they don't sniff it. Took a shot in the dark, I just went for this shit. Why aim for the stars, go forward and get nothing. Somewhere there's a young nigga on the same thing. Suggested advice, I tell him do better. Baby mom pregnant, I was turning 18. Ain't even focus my mind to getting cheddar. So I quit this rap shit, quit chasing my dreams. Fuck it, get money off of hoes and the fiends. Fuck it, get money, then turn around, blow it. If I was my plug, man, I wouldn't even throw it. maybe I would get money, you know it. Really had the city for some summers with the lows, yeah. Going down the wrong way, niggas getting smoked, yeah. I ain't even tell you about the times I was broke, yeah.